Welcome to this QuickBooks Online video demonstration where I'll be showing a general overview of QuickBooks Online. So let's get started. When you first log in into QuickBooks Online, you will be seeing the dashboard. So in the dashboard, you can see there's the shortcuts available where you can quickly add your customer, bills, or invoices. And to your right is your bank account that is present in your chart of accounts. Now let's click on Business Overview. In your Business Overview, you'll be able to see your profit and loss, expenses, invoices, and sales, whereby some of the options right here, you are able to select the periods. For example, to see this month, to see expenses of a certain period, and sales of a certain period as well. Now, if you're working outside in public and you wish to hide this financial screen, you can always click on the privacy button. So this will quickly hide your dashboard. In QuickBooks, you can click on this plus new button. This is the create button where you can create your transactions like invoices, credit notes, expenses, bills, and even journals. So if you need to create any transaction, just click on this button right here. Now to the option bar on the left, you can see options like banking, sales, where you can see your customers, expenses, where you can see your list of suppliers, as well as report, taxes, and accounting, where you can view your chart of accounts. Alright, so if you have an existing list of customers or suppliers that you need to input into QuickBooks Online, you can always make use of the import function. So let's go to the gear button, click on import data, and you can see the customer option. So when you click into the customer option, you can download a sample file and fill up with your information that you wish to import. In this case, I already have a file prepared, so I will just click on browse, click on my file, click on next, and since the file that I use uses the same format as the example file, so the fields will be automatically mapped into my QuickBooks field. Click on next again, and this is where you can do a final check before you import your data. So for any information that you have missed out, for example, like the phone number right here, you can easily just key in the number and you can easily update the information. So if you need to change the name, you need to update the address, you can just update from this import wizard instead of changing the file and doing the import again. Once everything has been checked, you just have to click on the import button. Once you have imported your data, it's time to check the import. So you go to sales and customers to see your customer list that has been imported. All right, now let's start by creating an invoice. Click on plus new, click on invoice. Under the invoice, let's click on increase. And you can see all the information here could be populated based on the set data increase. For example, the email and the billing address. Down here, I will just need to select the product or service that I provide. So for example, I'm selling this fountain. And right now, I can see that I have 100 quantity of this fountain on hand. So in this case, I'm going to sell 2 for a fixed rate, and I can input the tax amount as well as the class. So there is a class field here that you can use for report segmentation. You can segment it by specific class, specific departments, or even salesperson. In this case, I'm going to choose the department. You can also segmentate the data by location as well for different locations. Like, location A, B, by different states, by different country, or even different regions. And towards the bottom, we have the message that will appear on the invoice, and you can even input any specific discounts or if there's a deposit provided. Towards the bottom, clicking Save and Send will send this invoice via email, and you can also even choose to send it via WhatsApp. So in the bottom left, if you notice, there's an attachment field. So the attachment field right here, I can attach my files as a supporting document to my transaction. So in this case, this will be my supporting document for reference. If you want to attach this supporting document and send it to your customer, you can always check the attach to email box and then just click on Save and Send. Inside your invoice, you can see there's a Customize button. This allows you to edit the current format of your transaction. So let's edit this invoice. And inside the customization, you can change the template, make any logo changes, colors, font, and even the details. And you can also add in a QR code, signature, or a stamp that you can show at the bottom as so. The middle part is the content, whereby I can click on the pencil icon to, for example, add my phone number or change any details necessary. Under the email tab, I can choose to attach my PDF and customize my email greeting to my customers. I can also customize my reminders. If you want to preview, you can always click on preview your PDF. And if you're happy with the changes and you want to save this change, please click on done. And with this, it will pick up the current changes that we have made. Now, if you need to make this transaction running on a monthly basis, you can always click on the make recurring button. This will bring you into this recurring option. So this option right here, I can schedule this invoice to be automatically sent every month on the first of each month. I can put the starting date, for example, in May, and then I can set a ending date by December 31st. And the information below will be automatically copied over from the invoice earlier. All I have to do is click Save Template, and this recurring invoice is saved. So now that we have already keyed in our invoice, let's continue by keying in the expenses. So we go to plus new again, and then click on the expenses. On the expense, alright, so in your expenses, you just have to select your payee, select your bank account, and key in the reference number. And you can also choose to key in the payment method. Now towards the bottom, we have the category and the item details. Category details would normally follow your chart of accounts where you can select, for example, in this case, it's advertising. So I'll select advertising. I can also put in the description and enter the amount. If it is taxable, you can select the tax, and you can still put in class for report segmentation. Under the item details, you can select the product and services for replenishment. For example, if I need to replenish my fountains, I can enter the quantity to purchase and rate based on the invoice provided, and just selecting the tax code. Towards the bottom, you can key in memo for additional information and also attach an attachment as a supporting document. You can choose to make this transaction recurring as well. After you have entered the data, you just have to click Save and Close, and you have successfully created your expense. Alright, so now that you have already keyed in your transactions, it is time for you to review in your reports. So let's go to Reports on the left. And over here, we have a variety of reports that you can select. You can even search it by its name, or you can just find it by scrolling through the options. Now, let me look at some of our favorite reports right here. You can favorite them by clicking on the star icon next to the reports. In this case, I will go into the profit and loss. And this is the standard profit and loss report where you can choose by period and display the column by a specific period. And then you will be seeing this profit and loss report. So this is a very standardized profit and loss report with your income, cost of sale, and expenses. So right now I want to do a little filtering. So if I go to the top, I can either filter by the periods, or in this case, I want to change the display column. If I use months, they will show my profit and loss report monthly. In this case, I will be able to do a comparison for each month as well. And in the transaction earlier, if you have been keying in the location field or class field, you can go to the display column again, change it, run report, and it will show the transaction based on the segmentation that you have chosen. So for this case, in location, I can easily see the profitability that location B is more profitable than location A. And if you worry that the transactions you did not properly classify into the proper location, it will be fall under this non-specified field where you can easily click into the report and easily go into the transaction to change the classification. Within this report as well, you can see in these pencil icons, you can change the report name, choose to hide or show your logo, or even adding additional notes to the bottom of your report. You can also customize your report to filter and show specific information and data. For example, filtering the location, class, or even by accounts. Now in this report as well, you can export it to Excel or PDF, print it, or email directly from QuickBooks. Once you are satisfied with your report customization, you may want to choose to save your report by clicking on Save Customization. And to view your report that you have just customized, go to Reports again, and this time you will go in Custom Reports. And you can see under my group of my reports and shared with all the users in this QuickBooks account. Now in this custom report page, I can click on Edit under Actions and set off an email schedule. So all my reports under this group will be sent out via email on a regular basis once I select weekly, for example, once a week on a Monday, and I can choose the end date to end by a specific date. So if I select the date 30th September and key in the email, this report will be sent on an email schedule weekly. And towards the bottom, I can choose to either attach it as an Excel file, or if I choose not to check this option, it will be sent as a PDF. Click on Save and Close, and you can see now my report is going to be emailed on a weekly basis. Alright, so now let's move on to the banking module. So go to banking, and then under the banking module, you can either choose to connect your account. So if I click on connect now, I will just have to find my bank either by searching from the search bar or from the options below. If your bank is available to be selected, select your bank and just log in using your credentials. And once you log in using your credentials, your data will be populated as you can see here below. But do not worry if your bank is not one of the banks selected, you can still import your bank statement transactions using one of the format below .csv, .qfx, .qbo, .ofx, or txt format. So just have to download and export the bank statement in this format and upload it into QuickBooks. Once you have uploaded or connected your bank to QuickBooks, the information from your bank statement will populate as below. So you can see all these information are based from your bank statement. So all you have to do here is to just clear the line items. So an example here is that we have found a match. So QuickBooks will be able to find a match based on the amount, date, and the description. In this case, my description here is Wanda. And if I click into this line item, you can see that my journal is also to Wanda, so I can just click on match. And in this banking transaction as well, you can see that they auto categorize for me this transaction for bank charges. So what I can do if I click into this line item, under categorization history, I previously has categorized the same description from the bank into bank charges transaction. So in this case, QuickBooks will recognize your previously entered transaction and help suggest a category based on the information extracted from the historical data. So in this case, I do not need to change the category. I just have to click add and it will get added into the accounts. So if I click on my magnifying glass, you can see that this amount that I have added in earlier directly create an expense for me. You can also create bank rules by clicking on the tab here. One of the rules that I have previously created is the bank charges. So if I click on edit, you can see that this is a rule suggested by QuickBooks. So as long as you continuously use the banking module, QuickBooks will learn and suggest improvement for you to be more efficient in your bank matching. So the rule here is that as long as my description shows bank charges, it will always go into my bank charge account. So all I have to do is click on save. And if I'm very confident about this rule, which I am, I can let this system auto add for me. So every time this bank charges appears, it will automatically be added by QuickBooks itself and to my expenses. I can also create another rule. So for example, this rule is for rental and this is for money out. So in the description, I will put N as this is my landlord. So I put the name here Enma for my rental. Down here, I just have to select my rental expense and click on save. Now, if I go back to my banking and I scroll down, you can see my rule will get applied based on the set criteria that I have done, which is description to match the description from the bank statement. For this transaction down here, for example, some produce for 5,000, I can click on find match instead. And over here, I can say that this is a knockoff of this bill that I've previously created. So I just had to click on the bill right here, click on save, and automatically QuickBooks will create a bill payment, knocking off this bill for me. This will be a very quick way for you to clear your bank and also to efficiently perform your bank reconciliation after. This is the end of the video demo. Thank you. Welcome to QuickBooks.